union, you are not going to find a woman who is talking crazy to her man, you know.
Uzoma.
She's hitting the point from the woman's
Sorry, what did you say?
perspective.
So women
What did
have
you
Uh,
say?
out. Some women,
Yes, but that's what I'm saying.
women,
Yes.
some women have maybe
I'm not, women do have, oh dear. Women, yeah, women do have a bad mouth. I'm just trying to point us to something that we are missing here. Because in the first place, that woman did not develop a bad mouth after she got married. She had that bad mouth when the man
before,
married
long
her.
before she got married. She had
That's
that
what
issue.
I'm saying. So for us to now be forming a marriage, we need to see this in the beginning. I cannot marry a woman who speaks to me in this way because this is what I'm going to have for the rest of my life. That does
No,
not augur well for the union.
but
So
how
that's
about the
why we go
man?
back
But
again to
how
the
about the
foundations.
man? How about the man that she has shown him throughout courtship that she might not be the most polite, she might not be the
That's what we're
kindest,
saying. That's
but
what we're
as far as that
saying.
man is concerned, when I marry her, I'll conquer her.
Yeah, that means you're setting yourself up already for battle. Why do we do this? We shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I think I've forgotten what I was going to say. But Tony, yeah, somebody wants to hear your perspective on this. So how does the woman help to guide her husband to clarity? You are
No
mute.
volume.
You are muted. You're not? Okay.
uh,
Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, we can hear
Hello?
you now.
Oh, okay. I said I won't be disproving on what she has said. She nailed everything to the T from my perspective or from my point of view.
What was that?
On the issue of
Thank
on the
you.
issue
Thank you.
on the issue of men, I mean, what she's saying about women, there are men that are like that too. I mean, they are very authoritative and their words stand out. But also, like you are rightly pointing out, all this thing stems from the root, from the growing up, from the upbringing. Like, who is this guy or who is this woman? Why would why would somebody talk to me like this if I am so dear to her or to me? Or to him. It's just that always one point question that during courtship, what has this been existing and you allowed it, and now that you are deep into it, are you complaining about it because you knew where you were heading into? I mean, what I'm saying is directed to both man and woman. If you have a woman that is talking to you anyhow or that doesn't talk to you respectfully, there is a time to address this before you get onto the next stage. And so for the men, sometimes if I have to calm down, some men, based on their past relationships, they tend to want to shield themselves from the ego of who this man is. I am the man. Sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're whatever, but then they can listen. You know, the one thing I find funny in some people is that some men, they can listen, take advice from outside, from a woman outside who might probably be a boss or something.
Hey,
But then you come home to the one that you spend or you're supposed to spend everything you are with her, that you cannot take one simple advice. Why? Probably because there was something. Well, at that point, is it not advisable to say, hey, come, I need to have a heart to heart talk with you? If she is not the listening type or the type that takes, okay, I hear you, then that's where the problem continues because one, from the very get go, something must have triggered that. Or you knew that she was like this. And if you knew, it is your time to really cope with what you knew you understood. But it's
Okay.
your duty as the man to talk to your wife and say, I am sorry, maybe there's something I'm not getting, but this doesn't feel right. And try and see how the feedback comes. If the feedback comes with such a lowly, humble, whatever response, then why would you, the man, continue with
I
your
love
own?
this. I
You know what
love
I
this.
mean? Now
I
she
love
has responded to your issue, to your needs, So it's now your time to say, oh, this wasn't what I was expecting. Because the way she probably responded to you probably might not even equate to the way your boss talks to you. But you still listen to your boss.
I love what you said about calling her. So let's do this. Because of the topic of this, and this is what I honestly believe in my heart. One of the problems that we have now is that we have something that looks like gender wars, right? We want to prove that I am right and he is wrong. So I think we need to now begin to recalibrate and ask ourselves, how is this doing any good for us? If already I am in this relationship, and this is what we have. To start with, why don't we call that next person and let's see if we can wipe the slate clean and recognize, we have to start from the place of recognizing that, okay, we made a mistake somewhere. This is where I made a mistake. This is where you made a mistake. This is where we made a mistake. If we continue going on this tangent, we are going to be, we're always going to be in rocky waters. We're not going to be happy. Do we like what we have now? No, we don't like it. So why don't we do this? Now, okay, I have to give a challenge to the men. We find ourselves in this situation. To start with, it's not our fault. It's not the women's fault. It's not the men's fault. I believe strongly that part of what it is a misunderstanding of the feminist situation, a misunderstanding of the women should have voices situation. We should have voices because we are all human beings and we're all equal. However, some of us women have taken it to the extent where we feel like I must make sure that the man knows that I have a voice. And some men, because they feel like if I don't allow her to talk, I'm going to look like I'm not respecting women. And so we allow women to speak in a way that they shouldn't. So let me pose a challenge to men today. Don't do it by being tough and don't do it by being rough. Do it with the intention at the back of your mind that you are trying to have things smoothen out. You are the man and you must take up this challenge. You must take control of the situation. Okay? But the one thing that you need to do is, in order to tame a woman, you don't come raging like a bull. So if this woman sounds wild and crazy, you just need to let her know, come on,
Use
come.
the word just
We
now that
are,
go down where we made. Did you say tame a woman?
yes, tame a woman because this woman needs to be tamed. This person, because she's blah, 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 blah. That person needs to be
It's not an
tamed.
no, 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 it's not an you're not taming no woman. No.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Your terminology, I beg you. Tame.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I use that because when a woman is behaving like that, to me, it's like I'm looking like a wild animal. I'm looking at a wild animal.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like to
yeah.
me.
I,
Oh yeah, that's
I hear you.
I mean that's why she's not an animal. But that's what it looks like to me because nothing can work here. Nothing can work here. Okay, so I may be wrong. No, I
But
may
you
be wrong.
we
I may
did
be wrong, but
say
I'm not
like
trying to pander to the men. I am just trying to find a
all
solution where
taming
we are.
there was
Sorry?
a
Oh.
taming the shrew, Shakespeare.
Yeah, don't let me miss my train of thought. So we really need to call men up to this challenge now. Please be the man that you're supposed to be the man that you were born and put on this earth to be. You take the reins of this relationship, but you have to do it with wisdom. See, when you get into an office and the manager is acting crazy and rough handling and rough shoving everyone, you know that just like the lady said the other day, when you get to the bank and you see Tony Elumelu, he's not going to walk around there prancing and say, I am the CEO, you must listen to me. I am the CEO. No, he's not. He's just going to do things calmly, call you into a meeting. Like if you are heading an organization or a team, you call people and say to them, this and that is what is not working well. This and that is what we need to do in order to arrive at our goal and our destination. So you have to do it calmly. Once you do it calmly, she's going to understand that you are actually seeing what is happening and that you are trying to control it. If you don't take control of it, as a woman, I can tell you that I'm going to be disrespecting you. That's the truth. Because just like even children, as a child, if a parent doesn't take control of what's happening, the child is going to go crazy and be taking control of the place. So everybody needs to play their role, but you just have to do it right and with wisdom and not with force because you're dealing with another human being. Same thing with parents dealing with children. You're dealing with a human being. It's not with force, it's with calmness and with trying to talk things through and then put things in place, put the rules in place and say, this is how it has to be for us to be able to succeed. It's not about wars and about somebody being right and wrong. Let's just leave that aside because that doesn't help us in any way. So that's one thing. And
If I
Yeah,
may.
so I talked about a feminist thing. Okay, so Tony, somebody said that they want you to explain. Tony asked Tony, as a young man, how to map out my purpose. How do I map out my purpose?
Where's Uncle Aki?
He's not able to join. He's having problems. So Tony,
Okay.
please take that.
Okay. For those listening, growing up, you ask yourself. I mean, sometimes we're just carried away by childish fantasies.
Okay.
And
Am I
sorry,
taking?
can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Alright. Okay. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So some people are carried away by stuff. As you life happens in stages of growth, from year 0 to year 10 to year 50 to year 20 to year 25 to 30. Now by the time you hit 10, 15, 20, of course everything is school, the normal. I gotta go to school. You don't even know what it is that you're pursuing. You're just going to school because it's just part of life. But along the line, there's always that challenge. There's always that thing that springs out, and you begin to question yourself. Probably you've seen it on TV. Probably you've seen it some whatever that that comes to challenge what you are as a person. It's like, wow, I would like to be that, or I would like to become that, or probably because our parents talk to us more about this, and then you make your choices. But still, it doesn't mean that what you're choosing is actually what you're going to be. But at least that's the beginning of defining your purpose in life, because there are a lot of people out there that doesn't even think about it. They just do the norm and just go with whatever falls on their laps. Now as you go ahead, the pursuit, the fact that you're able to graduate from primary to secondary, from secondary to higher to tertiary, has now, it's more like a purpose. You've gotten to a stage where you are now beginning to say, I am finding a purpose. It doesn't mean that you have it already, but that already has something. Because there are some that after high school, they drop out. Now they're dropping out. Some have a purpose and a reason for dropping out, because they find something else somewhere that they can pursue. Now, the fact dropping out doesn't mean they do not have purpose. They have something else to do than spend more time in school. Now, I can pursue this from those that dropped out from school, or I can pursue this from the direction of those that went to school. Now, from those that went to school, as you keep going ahead, or as you journey, you still are challenged with, should I really pursue this or that? Now, what we are looking at is purpose. Remember, what you study is not what you might end up becoming at the later stage, but they are all things that define and prepare you for something bigger or better, or something that can give you a good vantage point on the next thing you want to be in life. People have traveled away from one country to another. What they read, graduated, put all their life, whatever in. It's not what they're doing, but they are ready to accepting and facing any other thing in life. Especially this period is a very trying period all over the country, all over the world. But as long as you have that purpose, as long as you have a goal, as long as you say, this is it, even though it's not working, even though it's not coming out fully, this is where I am working on. These are the things that really trap women, that really, not just women, but very good women that really understand. That's where Adire is coming. Sometimes
Ajiri.
you don't Ajire, sorry, I'm sorry.
What that?
Sometimes you have men that are prepared, but then they don't have it 100%. And then a woman comes into their life and helps redefine that. She might have all the contacts, everything that can push the man towards the right direction to fulfilling that thing that he was meant to be, but he
Okay.
has prepped himself up to that point.
Akin is able to hello?
Can he join us just audio wise?
That's what I'm trying to, yeah, that's what we're trying. Okay, are you able to quickly see if you can answer that before you get cut off?
Ajiri.
Ajiri. Ajiri.
Yeah.
Delta Isoko Ajiri.
Okay. Are you
Okay.
speaking? Yeah, he's not.
This is me. This is Aki. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear him. Can hear him.
Yes. Okay. They can hear
Okay,
you.
what's the question again? Please.
He said,
Okay, as a young man, how to map out?
my purpose.
Purpose as a young man.
Okay. Okay, your basically is from
Uzoma, can we do something about it?
thinking of getting married.
Can we what?
First you
He's breaking. He's breaking.
Yeah. No, it's not. He can't help it. There's a problem with the connection. It's breaking. If you can type anything to me, I can read it out. It's a pity that today.
And it's a very pertinent question that has been asked. Because most
Or if you can record a voice clip for me.
that's fine.
Or if you can record a voice clip, maybe I can play it.
Let me do that.
Okay. Okay. What did you say, Ajiri?
Herein lies the problem. Most young men don't have clarity. Most young men, it takes getting to the age of like 31, 32, 33.
No, even later. Sometimes even later.
Almost.
So,
I mean, some have even gotten to 40 before they begin to have a clue about life.
And it's not just young men. Let's talk about people.
Yeah.
Now, men and women.
Let me give an example. I was 2 days ago. I was at downtown Toronto on Dundas, and I needed help with what I was carrying, and I knew that with a few bucks, someone that was homeless that probably needed food will carry it for me, So this guy walks up to me and says, could he get a few bucks to buy coffee, So I'm like, well, if you take this load from here to here with me, I'll give you something. We start walking and we strike a conversation because I'm a people person. I want to know everybody. I want to know everybody's story. And he says, oh, sis, I'm 65 years old. I'm like, oh. And I've been in and out of hospital for drug addiction. I said, okay. I said, are you married? Do you have grandchildren? He said, I'm not married. I've never been married. I said, that, I'm like, what happened? He says, oh, I wasted my years going from one girl to the other, having girlfriends. At the end of the day, I am where I am today, alone, 65, no job, living on what they call this thing, benefits,
welfare, yeah,
yeah, and everything. So I'm like, okay, so was that your plan for your life when you were much younger? He was like, no, that he always wanted to at least have a family, but he feels it's too late for him. He's 65. And I'm like, God is never too late. You cannot just because I mean, for me, it's ministry. I'm using the opportunity to share the word of God with him, and I'm like, God loves you, and He wants to make your life beautiful. You cannot just condemn yourself and say because you're 65, you've been in and out of rehab, you've been on drugs. You can't just condemn yourself and say there's no future, and say all you have to do with your life is live on benefits from the government. Now, this is a 65-year-old man who never found his fruit, who never found his bearing. I left him feeling like, is this real? Can someone get to this point in
I
their
hope he believes it.
I pray that those few words I spoke to him will make him think, because I told him that God has not given up on you. The fact that you're 65, you are not married, you have no children, you have no income, you have no job, you are begging for coins to buy coffee. Your life can turn. And this is a message to everybody out there, because I know that there are lots of people, especially men, who have not just made it. You see people you went to school with, you went to university with, They have jobs, they are high flyers, they are going up the career ladder, but you just did not go past tests and job interviews. You just did not
All
land a
right.
job.
Okay.
Please don't give up on yourself. Please.
Okay. So do we want to round up the thing about the marriage? I think that the biggest thing that I can say is being open and being sincere. But in being open, we have to be wise in checking out the person that we're dealing with, and not to lie to ourselves, right? Like, just because I am so inundated with them, or no, let's say my senses are completely blocked and blinded because of the attraction that I feel. Okay, that's one thing that I didn't even address. So we need to be very careful with that attraction when we meet somebody, because if we're not careful, attraction, and I'm not talking about just the physical person now. I'm talking about any other thing that makes the person an attraction for us, attractive to us, whether it's their accomplishments or anything else that makes me want to have this person as my partner. If I don't remember to put that on the back burner, I am going to overlook all the things that I can see already that make this a difficult or even a partnership that shouldn't even start in the first place. We have a caller. Hello? Hello?
Hey, Uzo. Sorry, I have a question, so I just wanted to, comment right now.
Right.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, please.
So, you mentioned attraction. Yes. At the initial stage of marriage, the attraction level is high, right?
Right.
And at those instances, many things are excused.
Right.
So we begin to notice after 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, when kids begin to come in, and when there is stuff to handle with the family,
Right.
we begin to see some things come out. So how would you advise couples in that phase of life where the attraction level is probably, going lower, not where it used to be, and things are beginning to, little things are beginning to become big issues. So, what would you advise such people? How would you advise them to, to react, or a solution, that might work for them in that instance? Because when that level goes down, there are little things that you guys probably laughed about a couple of years ago, because of the life phase and the life situation you guys are in right now. Both parties probably stressed, or maybe it's money issue or whatever. Those things that were okay back in the day is now a big deal, all because that level of attraction is down. So, what would you advise couples in that phase, and those that are getting towards that phase? Because this book says that after the first 3, 4, 5 years, that the in love stage, that your love tank begins to go down. So how do you ensure that the love tank is continually refilled? And also, how do you ensure that at that phase, you don't allow things of life to begin to impact you guys negatively? Instead, be something to work together on for a more solid marriage. That's my question.
Okay, thank you for calling in. What I can say to this is, I think I can address it more easily for people who aren't married yet than for people who are already in the marriage, because we all have different things that are important to us in relationships. For some people, I think the attraction is talking about is probably maybe physical, or maybe um, temperament. I don't know. But let me assume that maybe he's talking about physical, or in fact, I think it's on the whole, because he said the love tank begins to go down. So I will say that when I am interested in a human being, I remember there's a lady that I became very close to, and before I knew her, I thought that she looked funny. I thought that certain things about her were quite funny when I looked at her, and then we became close. And all of a sudden, I couldn't even see those things. As physically, I couldn't see those things anymore. And then people would say to me, "That's your friend who looks so 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 so." But when they would say those things, I knew what they were talking about. But the funny thing is, I was seeing her all the time, and I'm not lesbian at all. I was seeing her all the time, but my love for her had grown, and I was no longer conscious of those things that people would see when they looked at her, because I was seeing her now as the person that she is. So I think if we can be honest with ourselves, and I'm not saying that I don't know how other people do these things, because for me, a relationship is about the person. The appearance is also important, right? But it is not the appearance that makes that person the person for me. It's the whole person. And I feel that if I am with somebody that I am happy with, this is any type of relationship now. Let's say it's my female friend, or let's say my husband. If I am with someone that I'm happy with, and we get into situations where something causes them to not look the way that they ordinarily look, and they begin to maybe look strained or tired or not so physically attractive, or their temperament changes and they become whatever else, because I already know this person for who they are, I feel that I can see beyond that and recognize that this is life, and the things that are happening are affecting us and this person now. And because the relationship matters that much to me, so this is why I would prefer to address it from the angle of people who aren't married yet. The relationship with this person, how much does it matter? Is something that must play on our minds all the time. The relationship that I have with this person, how valuable and how much value do I place on it? If I place so much value on it, whether in sickness or in health, I am going to be wanting to maintain that relationship, right? And there is a reason why that relationship will be valuable to me. It's not anything about the person being a good person or not being a good person. Every one of us, when we come from our mother's wombs, there are things that appeal to us. So we have to always ask ourselves, like, if somebody doesn't really seem to value our relationship, it's not because I'm not good enough. It's because there's something that that person requires that I probably do not possess. We need to get to that so that we can stop feeling butthurt about somebody who does not seem to appreciate us as much. Everything about me is good for the person for whom I fulfill those things. So if once I have that person and I know that this person fulfills these things for me, wherever we find ourselves, that relationship matters that much to me, and I am going to maintain it. I think that's really what so it's again the foundations. How did we enter here? Did I enter it with somebody with whom these are the things that I really wanted, and if those things are no longer there, then I'm no longer interested, or my interest begins to wane? I don't know if you guys have a different perspective. Did you
Okay,
want to add something to
yeah,
that?
something in every marriage relationship. I want to talk to the young man and the question he asked. There's the um there's the lost stage, the stage where you can't get your hands on her, she can't get enough of you, all over each other, seeing any part of the it's only you and her before the children start coming. There's so much physical activity, let me use that word because some children may be watching. And then 2, 3, 4 years, one or two babies have come in, a little changes to madam's body, a little distraction on her part. You're no longer her all in all. All her attention is now divided between you
I
and the
want to fast forward you.
okay, can I okay. So there's the lost stage where there's so much romance in
You're repeating it.
then there is the rust stage. Rust, as in there are seasons in every marriage.
Okay, so that's the bottom line of it. Can I now go on?
What
Or you want to
kind
say
of
something?
is no matter the changing seasons, your commitment to each other keeps you in
Stays the
that.
same.
Your commitment stays the same. Your love stays the same. The attraction may not. The Jim wanting to do may not.
Okay, I'm going to
But
interrupt now because it's the same thing now.
but
I'm sorry. Please pardon
but
me.
even if you are in the lost, rust, or dust stage, don't forget to be committed to each other. Thank you.
Okay, let me put it this way. Let's put it this way. Here is what it is. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? This sounds like a textbook thing to me, and I want us to be very careful to not walk away with those things
Not a
because
text,
somebody wrote that.
not
Somebody
a
wrote it. But I am a married woman, excuse me, and I have married friends and sisters that we talk. Okay, so maybe you that's your personal
and
experience
I
as well.
sisters and
Yes, that's what I'm trying
I
to say. I'm not
tell
saying that it's wrong. I'm not
telling
saying
you
that it's wrong. I'm
have
saying that we mustn't promote those things because it will sound to people who don't know that this is a normal thing. If the next person who it has happened to hears you, they will say, yes, you see, this is what happened. No, this is a narrative that is true for some people. It is not true for some people. Because when we say it, the reason I'm saying is because you and I interviewed that lady together. The lady who was talking about procreation being the reason for marriage. We must always remember that people are
to
marrying for different reasons.
issues, like mixing up issues. His question was
Yes,
there's a strong attraction between the couple for the first three
yes.
years, and then it begins to wane. We're not talking
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying this is because I don't want the young man to think that because it's happening here, maybe with him or with his friend, to think that this is a no. We have to think about the foundation of this particular marriage. If that foundation was between people who somebody wanted something and somebody else wanted something else, this happens. I don't want us to forget. I want us to always drum down our listeners' ears the foundation. Hello?
say that Uncle
Hello?
Uncle Tony is
Hey, yeah, just wanted to clarify. I think yeah, my track with her
Uh-huh.
response.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, my question was kind of intentional in the sense that this is a real life scenario. This is what happens in every marriage.
It's not every marriage. No, in some
And
marriages.
no, I will tell you, like, you don't have to accept it. Like the first 5 years, if you do a thorough analysis, in phases, maybe the first 5 years, first 10 years, in the
Yeah.
first 5 years, the attraction level is highest. Is higher. Then after it begins to set in, life begins to happen. Then that level begins to wane down a little bit, and then you begin to get different reactions, different responses. So I think what she's saying is actually very important because most people are in this stage, they come up in that stage and they don't know how to navigate that stage because they do not expect that such a time will ever come. They've been told that, it's always going to be rosy, always going to be beautiful, always going to be, the
Mm.
kissing, the pecking, the holding hands. But sometimes it's not like that. And people are confused as to what to do. They don't know what to do. So I think she's responding to the right question. So yeah, I just like to put that in question.
Okay.
and
So
some
please keep listening. This is the reason for this conversation, right? Because we hear some narratives, and because this has been my experience, or this next person told me, um, then we want to accept that this is what it generally is. And I want us to do this because we'll be doing the whole world a disservice. When you hear something negative and you want to put it on a billboard and tell
negative
people,
about I'm no longer so on the hot for you. It's not negative, it's life. It's
to
reality.
me, no, 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 to me, when we write a book and say that this is what happens, right? And it is a negative thing, I see this as a negative thing because the next person who hears it, right? And that's why we came up with this topic. The person who hears it, allow me to land. Allow me to land. This is your perspective. You believe it. And I'm telling you, just as you believe it, and the caller believes it, the caller believes it. Probably that's why he asked this question. Maybe this has been the caller's experience. And I can tell you that I know too. If the two of you are saying this is what happens, and I bring the 10 people who say that this is not what happens, does that make it what not happens? Does that make it something that doesn't
And
happen?
the 150 to 200 people who sets up a lot of
Okay, I'll
people.
leave it. I'll
That's
leave it.
up a lot of people for failure and disappointment. I have to drop that there.
No, what she's trying to say, like she's trying to take this from a perspective, and then at the same time, trying to choose her words. It's just that probably what she's trying to say is not actually aligning with what you're thinking. But I'm just to say if we can just give her just that 1 minute, and then let her just
No, no, no. I don't
round
want to
it.
be nice about this because people are living in misery. Honestly,
Nobody is
I don't
nice.
want to
We
be nice
know.
about
No,
this.
no, nobody is nice about it. The foundation, what she's trying to say is people live in this fantasy world of marriage is so
Oh
beautiful, and then
yes,
they get into
yes,
it,
yes,
boom,
yes,
it's not. It
yes.
becomes a war
100%.
zone. It becomes something you ask yourself, what the heck have I gotten myself
But that is
into?
the pre-marriage. It is the foundation. Isn't that what it is? Because
Yeah,
before you concepts you had in your mind, which is what we're trying to
yeah,
diseducate or re-educate us ourselves on now. It is that concept
yeah,
because we watch those movies and all those
yeah.
things. And that's why
That's
when we
right.
started at the beginning, I said at the beginning, we need to
Mhm,
understand what does marriage mean to this person. Because the person may be seeing it as something where we get in and we're living forever happily
mhm,
after, without recognizing
mhm.
the other things that need to be taken into account. Right?
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Okay, there's something. Can I just? Oh, but
So
it's
we
not.
have a caller.
Oh, how do I get it out of this phone? Okay, there's
Okay.
something I wrote.
Yeah. I mean, listen to you guys in the last 2 3 minutes. I think it was a little chaotic, but yeah. So
Yeah,
I
understandable.
yeah, I still kind of think she has a lot to say. I don't know, she has
It's
a
breaking.
lot
So,
of questions,
like
Mm.
breaking.
I
also
I can
unfortunately,
barely hear him.
too, but I would like to hear her take on that because yeah, like it or not, life would happen. The marriage is like a graph. It's like a graph, and in science we call it the AC chart, which means it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. It's never a straight line. You understand? So each phase requires a certain level of response. You understand? So and saying that is actually accepting the fact, and it's not you being negative or whatever, because it's gonna happen. If you take a poll and ask people that the first 5 years of your marriage
It
and
doesn't
the
matter.
next.
Listen, listen. You guys are missing this thing. The reason why
Yes.
I'm saying that is you
Uh,
can you can
because
wait. No, 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 no. You can get 1,000 people. If 700 people tell you that, they can tell you that this is what happened in their marriage, and the reason is because of the foundations. That is what I'm trying to make you understand. I'm not saying that this
this
doesn't
is this
happen.
is not this is not foundation issue. You know, life is dynamic. Life is dynamic, which means that your problems right now
That's too. Yes, that's
and the
too.
one next 10 years will be different. So the point is, are people aware that that marriage is dynamic? It is not static. It is not fixed. The man or woman you marry today, in the next 7 8 years, would have changed to some
Yes,
extent. Are
yes.
you aware that these changes will happen in point X? So prepare yourself towards that change. Because if you are expecting that your spouse will remain the way they are because you love them, that is the biggest fallacy. And in that way, you are setting yourself up for massive disaster. As a man marrying this lady with supposedly nice body and nice figures, without you accepting that this woman, maybe in 15 years' time, will not look this way. As a result, you are not preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, psychologically to be able to accept who she will become in 15 years' time. And you say, you know what? Oh, I love her. No, that is a big lie. So, and same thing again, finances. Things could change at any point in time. So, are you aware of this? That in this marriage, things will happen that will force me to probably change in certain way, knowing that I'm preparing towards those changes for when they will come. To me, I think that is something that many of us have lost that privilege to. It's like we are reacting most time in marriage. We are reacting because we have not accepted some norms, accepted some possibilities in the future. But if you are aware that okay, this person I have right now is this way. You know, in the next 10 years, something could happen. So it's like you are preparing yourself towards those changes and making adequate preparations so that when those changes come, you are not reacting, but you are already have things to mitigate those things. So I think that is the question, and I think this is not us, making things up. This is life. This is reality, and I'm surprised that you don't see it that way.
No, but
Because
I agree with
everyone
everything you
in
just
what we are
said.
trying to do. Sorry?
I agree with everything you just said. What is puzzling to me is that when you were saying them, I was like, but isn't that what I've been trying to explain? I don't know,
No,
maybe
no, no,
it's
no. Maybe in your head, that's what you have, but what you've been saying is a little bit different from that. So, maybe, so that just my take on that anyway.
okay. Well, I agree with everything you've just said now. I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
And
that.
then if I may,
Because if we enter there without being real, that's how we get into this situation, right? I
and then if
mean, you have
I may,
to.
the love that sustains a marriage through the years, 20, 30, 40. I mean, something came out of me this morning. I was talking to a younger lady who is in a pivotal relationship trying to decide, do I marry, do I not, and I said something. I just want to quote it verbatim what I said. I said, we don't choose who we love. Love happens, it grows on us. Now, what did I define as love? I said it is stability, it is consistency, it is kindness, it is availability, it is empathy. You see, it's not the gym and the butterflies in the air. It is consistency. It's doing the everyday thing, the everyday life routines, the everyday living your life together, and always looking for the
Oh
extraordinary
God.
or the hula la. Sorry, if you cannot do your everyday ordinary life with this person, then what are you doing together?
That's why she's nailing it. For those that are already trying, making up their mind that or making that mistake, she is dropping she's dropping the
Those I'm
basics for
telling
them to
you, don't
see that if
say,
you don't have
I'm telling
all
you
that it
that they,
takes,
yes.
you might find yourself in exactly what you're trying to say, Ozo. She's just dropping all the little bits that love,
Okay.
which is the total foundation, part of the whole beginning of the beginning thing. If you don't have any of all those things, where are you going? If you don't have empathy, then all you're looking for is I want his house, I want his money, I want her charms, I want.
But now you're married, you made your decision lie on your bed. I'm talking to those who are trying to decide who they want to marry and who they want to settle down with. These are the things to look out for: stability, consistency, kindness, empathy. There are some things that are humane that makes someone human. Look out for these things. Stop looking for butterflies. Oh, stop looking for he makes my heart jim.
You're
Stop looking.
looking for trouble now. No,
Really,
but
oh,
Ajiri,
say it.
you can't tell them to stop looking for butterflies. You can just tell them that butterflies is not enough. Because because you didn't even talk about attraction now. Why do you want to sound as if attraction is not important?
So
Hmm?
many heads, so led
Your
by.
audio, your audio
Sorry, I don't know what I'm touching. Oh, hey God, this phone. So
is
many,
fine.
so many have allowed this gym, but
Yeah, but in addition, they all come together. It's a total package. Attraction is just as important because we keep on stressing good qualities, good qualities. You push me,
those
I marry good
are what
qualities to
stay
someone
at
that I'm
the
not
end
even
of
attracted to.
those are
Hmm?
what stay, those are what endure at the end of the day.
No, please. That's you are telling people that once they have good qualities, being attractive or attracted to the person is on the bottom of the list. Don't do that now.
I
That's
did not
unfair.
I did
That's
not
unfair.
say I did not say
What?
some of the list. Do not misquote me. I did not
Okay.
say some of the list.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's somewhere on the
Okay.
list. Somewhere on the list. I did not say bottom of the list.
No, you know why I said it? Because I don't know if you saw that question about my the person that I want to marry has all these good qualities. This, that. But he looks like this and like that and like that. Because we do this a lot. Somebody will bring somebody and they will talk about all the good qualities that this person has, or the other way around. But she looks this way, but he looks this way. I'm not attracted. And then people will say that's not such a big deal. It's only not such a big deal if that doesn't matter to the person. You cannot be going to get married to someone that you do not find that you find unattractive. In fact, 1 second, please.
Attraction is important. So please, my hand is in the air. Please. I did not say attraction is not important. Please. Please, oh, don't misquote me. You're muted.
Yes, yes. I was something called me. So sorry. I just wanted to, sometimes when I interrupt you like that, it's not because I disagree with everything you're saying. I just want us to always remember the other side, because there are people, like I said to someone yesterday, do not send these horrible jokes around. It was like, if if marriages were a driver's license, most men would not want to get married. And I was like, this is not a joke. I don't like this. Don't send those kind of things around, because people are believing these things.
Where's
Do you
Uncle?
understand?
Where's Uncle?
Because and you see some women online, I saw them in the last month. Men are not capable of love. Men just like to use women. The only reason they get married is, we should not be saying all these things, because it's entering people's spirits and they're believing them, and they're getting into marriage with that idea. So we always need to be balanced. Maki. Your audio, Adri, please, like last time, your audio is a problem.
I think maybe
I
because
think,
I'm holding the phone,
sorry, maybe you're holding where your voice comes from. Aki, you are responding to how can I,
find purpose as a young man.
as a young man, yes, please, how does a young man map out his purpose?
Okay, okay. You didn't play the audio that I sent.
No, we were busy arguing back and forth over something else here.
Okay, the issue basically is that for anyone to map out their purpose, they first of all need to decide who they are. Who am I? What are my core values? Because if you cannot say that, if you cannot decide that, or you cannot put your fingers on that, then it's difficult for you to map out any purpose. We are all subject to, we are all a product, rather, we are all a product of our environment and our upbringing. Whatever that is, whatever that makes us at a point in our lives, I will not blame anyone. I will not blame the people, your parents, neither will I blame you for becoming, or neither will I also blame your environment. We are a product, we are who we are individually. So first and foremost, you want to say, okay, this is who I am. These are the things I believe in. These are my core values. These are the things I do not care about. These are the things I care about. And based on all of those factors, you can say, okay, these are the things I can compromise on. These are the things I will never compromise on. And it is with this in mind that you begin to maybe look for a partner. If you do not know yourself, if you tell yourself a lie about yourself, then that the foundation is already wrong. But if you know yourself and you're truthful to yourself, do you understand me? I used to tell I used to tell some people, I say, given the opportunity, I think I talk too much. Do you understand? I tell people that. I said, given the opportunity, I think I talk too much, even for my own liking.
For
And
your own
I mean,
judgment. Me too.
yeah, and that's been true to myself. You understand?
Authentic.
You can't lie. And I say to some people that sometimes I think I argue unnecessarily. I say that to myself, not because I have an abundance of information. So it tends to make me continue argument. Sometimes when you should just let it go. You understand? But that you tell yourself the truth. So if you're able to tell yourself the truth,
Even if
it
it's
helps.
negative, even if
Yeah,
you
even
feel
if
that
it
this
is
is,
negative.
yeah, yeah.
So and
And
that is
own it.
yeah, and own it. And that's life. So if you're able to tell yourself the truth, so in case you come and if you tell yourself the truth and you find out you meet somebody who is almost like you will know that this one no go work. Oh. The whole place will burn. Do you understand me? You get what I'm saying? So I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying I'm looking at the extreme, but I'm just saying that is the way you must look. Tell yourself the truth first because it helps you to search for a partner. So when you're searching for a partner, you're searching for someone that will complement you. But other than complementing you, there are certain basic things you must look for in life in a partner. One, you want to, as much as you can, be equipped with the knowledge of identifying narcissists.
God,
Because they are
God,
actually
I beg go.
yes, they are actually the worst people to get into a marriage with or in a serious life defining relationship with. So if you're able to do that, first and foremost, then you want somebody, because marriage is filled with ups and downs. You want somebody who is going to be able to empathize. You want somebody who has empathy. Some people just don't have empathy. And that, yeah, I know. You must have somebody who has empathy and has a basic understanding of human attributes. You understand me? So that not every single thing jolts them or makes them feel, oh, the world is crashing down. You understand me? Some people that have some measure, you have some measure of strength. Not, I'm not saying you'll be Goliath, but you have some measure of inner strength, either as a result of your faith or as a result of your strength of character. So those are some. But other than that, there are some basic characters that you must look for when you're looking for a wife or a husband. So I'm not talking about the woman or the man alone. I'm also talking about the woman. So basically, you don't want a crybaby husband as a woman. You don't want a crybaby. You don't want somebody who, when small thing happens, is as a man. But there are men like that. They start crying. Do you understand? So you want somebody who has some strength of character.
But you're not
Somebody.
saying that men can't cry, right? You're not saying that men
No,
can't
no, no.
cry.
I'm not saying men can cry. No.
Put it there. Don't.
I'm not saying men. No, no. I'm not saying we all. I mean, we all cried at one time in our lives, or a few
At
times.
one time.
No, as in one. As I'm saying, a few times in our lives, but not. You don't want a crybaby, because life will throw curveballs at you. Either whether you're a woman or you're a man. Do you understand me? It can even not be understandable if a woman is crying. But when a man starts to cry on simple things that you are just supposed to sit down and strategize, do we get out of this? And so those are individual characteristics that you must look out for. But overall, when you're mapping out yourself, you're not going to get 100% result in anybody in life. But I will say that if you want to weigh all the individual characteristics and behavioral patterns of anyone that you're going to get into a relationship with, make sure that on your list, because you are the one who is going to get into the relationship, it's not me. It might not be up to 70% on my own list, but let it be at least close to 70% on your list. And let the 30% be what you're going to be working on or what you can compromise on, because there will always be compromises. You cannot get, hold on, you cannot get anything 100%. But however, the degree, the severity of that 30% has to be something, they should not be life or character defining. As in, when it becomes something that you are not going to be able to live with. The 30% should not include the things that you cannot live with, because those are the things that divide marriages and divide relationships. Those are the things, these things are the things whereby you can make up your mind, wake up one day and say, I'm not doing anymore. So those are not the things you compromise on. The things you compromise on are the things that are workable, or even if they are not workable, you can live with them. Now,
Okay.
I want to finish. What one person can live with differs from what the other person can live with. No two people might be able to live with one thing. So it's an individual choice. It's not something me and anyone can sit down here and say, if the person is doing this and this, okay, I think this one is working. No, you are the one to decide based on your core values that, okay, I can live with this. Okay, I cannot live with this. You understand? So that's my take on it.
He wanted to know um what he actually wanted to know. He was asking about, because Ajuri said something that before you get married, as a man, you must know your purpose, which is true, right? And so
Okay.
this question, the viewer wanted to know, so how do I define my purpose? Because he initially asked a question where he said, how can a woman help her husband if he hasn't figured out his purpose? How can she help him? So we dealt with that. And then he now asked, so as a young man, can you tell me how to define and decide my
Okay,
career.
okay. Is
Yeah.
in that light? Okay,
That's what I kept wanting to,
okay,
yeah.
okay. My take is basically purpose. Purpose is a personal thing. Is a personal journey. But in purpose, in defining purpose or in achieving purpose in life, we get help from those who surround us, friends, families, partner. The partner contributes a huge chunk. So for you to say, okay, how do I
Before I
define my,
get married, how
yes,
yeah.
uh, for you to say, how do you define your purpose? First and foremost, you want to decide what am I on this earth for? What am I going to use? What do I intend to use my life for? Some people use their life as an example to others. Some people use their lives to raise others, their life to raise others. Some people want to bring people in a closer relationship with God, and that's through religion and through their faith. So, first and foremost, you need to decide, okay, who am I? And it still starts from who am I? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How can I apply myself? How can I how can I make impact in this life? And be truthful to yourself. Don't say you're an engineer when you are when you are a writer. You understand? And then when you decide, okay, you want to map out your purpose, you can then say, okay, in mapping out my purpose, who do I need when you talk about relationship? Who do I need that can help me, that can complement me in achieving this purpose that I'm mapping out? And that then decides, okay, who you get married to, the kind of person. To the person, to people around you, the person you want to get married to might not be agreeable to them. But you, the one who is trying to map out the purpose, know the reason why. If you feel that, okay, I am too gentle in some issues, you cannot, and then you know that nobody walks through life with gentility, because certain things in life will require standing up and being rugged. So if you tell yourself the truth that, okay, I'm too gentle, then if I'm going to get a partner, the partner must measure higher than me in ruggedness. That means to complement me, the person must almost not totally be my opposite, but must be able to stand up in those areas that I seem not to be able to measure up in certain areas in life. Whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, if you're a quiet woman, you need a husband that can speak up. You need a husband that can fight for you, that can stand up for your rights. If you can't stand up, and as a man, if you feel maybe the way you were brought up, maybe you were brought up amongst women, so there's a certain meekness about you because of the way you were brought up. You cannot get a partner that was brought up in the same way as you, because life will throw many things at you. And as a couple, and is as people in a relationship, in a marriage, somebody needs to have the quality to
Yeah.
contain that thing that is coming. And that's how successful marriages are built.
And
It's
may
not
I throw in something
it's
here?
not two people that are the same.
Please let me throw in something here, because while you're
Yeah,
saying this, some people will be listening, and
yeah,
because of that, they will meet that person that they feel, okay, this person can handle these areas that I cannot handle.
yeah.
And as a result, they will become laser focused on that person.
No, no.
Meanwhile, what I agree with this thing that you've just said, it's
Yeah,
correct, but that person that they've become laser focused on may not want that relationship, right? And then, but they're convinced that I know what I'm talking about because of this. Because before, when you were not here, I kept on trying to get us to be balanced in everything that we're saying.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
true.
we always need to, because when you're looking at the qualities that you want, if the other person does not, you have to also look and see that the person is okay with the qualities that you bring. I was just
Yeah,
trying to say, yeah, because sometimes we get carried away with, yes, everything is fine and perfect, and we go home and sleep and feel good. It's fine and perfect at your end, but it's not fine and perfect at the other person's end,
yeah,
right? And you are so convinced that this is right because I have seen all these things. So we must always play fair in everything. And even if you feel that you can carry, yeah, I can see it's not okay, but I can carry it. and you think that you are being a good person, as I said before,
Yeah.
you are still doing that relationship a disservice, because is it going to work for that relationship when you make a choice like that?
This bring me, and I'll use my life as an example. You understand? I'm typically somebody who does not really. I grew up like that. I would say that to a very large extent, I was a walk alone. Do you understand? You know what they call walk alone. So as
Explain. Sorry, I don't know. So
you don't know walk alone. Okay, a walk alone is somebody who doesn't have too many friends.
okay.
Yeah, I have a few friends. Not, I won't say I'm very, very close to many people. You understand me? But I'm friends with many people. But I'm not close to several people. So, and I really didn't like that about my life. Do you understand me? Not that I don't like it, but I just felt I could do better. I could be more, especially as I ventured into business or running a company of my own and all of that. Or I was looking forward to it. And then I met someone who could make friends with every meeting people for 5 minutes and making friends with them in that 5 minutes, and they will leave with a very warm impression of her. That's my wife. Do you understand me? I saw that in her, even though I didn't commend her, but I noticed it. You understand?
Some of
All
what
my
we talked
friends,
about.
yes, all my friends liked her and everything and all of that, and I didn't talk about it, but I noticed it. And I said, okay, this should work in my favor. It, not for her to be greeting everybody for me. You understand me? But I saw something I could learn from her. I saw something I could improve in my life in her. Do you understand me? And so a lot of the times, that's the way it works. It's not for the person to come and take your position. It's for the person to influence you positively in that area of your life that you might need improvement. But that will only happen if you tell yourself the truth. If you don't tell yourself the truth, that person will come by and you will not recognize it. You will not see the difference between you and that person and how it can be complemented. And it's in different areas. So now I can go to places and I am doing better than I used to do before in socializing with people, in in maybe in getting to know people and striking a conversation. And it wasn't that I was shy. I've never been shy in my life, but I just wasn't. I'll just sit down there. I could be standing for the next 1 hour in a crowd, and I would not. But I am a different person now, and that's as a result of not that I'll say, okay, go and talk to somebody for me, but I just saw that I was different. I started opening up in terms of socializing, associating, and several other things. And that is the way it is. You can recognize an attribute. It doesn't mean the person will replace you, but you see that the person will make you better. And you take it in, you hold it in your pocket. If you see another attribute, you hold it in your, and that's about getting to know someone. It is not major. Do you understand? I'm saying as minor as that is, not to not talk of the other major things. Do you get? So it's not for you to go to sleep, as you said, Uzo. It's not for you to go to sleep and say, all. No. You must also know that, okay, how does my own character, how does it complement the other person? So that sometimes when I used to say something to my wife, and I say, come on, you are becoming too spontaneous. Do you understand me? Yes. I said you're becoming too. No, because sometimes some situation require that
You want to go there?
you are circumspect. You understand me? But because she is an extremely spontaneous person, do you understand? And we are in certain areas of our lives. We are spontaneous. Do you understand me? So I'll just tap her and say, you're becoming too spontaneous, and she will calm down. Do you understand? That
Okay.
way, my own attributes has helped to simmer a spontaneity in certain things, not all the time. It's not like I say it all the time. You understand? But basically, what has happened is that in that area, we have been able to use ourselves to balance ourselves.
To balance things.
Yes, that's what,
Okay.
and that is the way marriage is or relationships are in different aspects. I've just said only one thing, and it's not even major. There are other major things.
All right. So the main thing, we're going to close now. Yes. I'm so sorry that you were off of it for most
It's
of it.
okay.
Yeah, but I think that if we look at the topic is that there are many good marriages, and I said the best marriages and how. Um, and the reason is what we really wanted to get into, and I think that this has been I think this is our longest conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that if you really want to go through what we talked about from the beginning till here, you will see that we have talked about the salient points.
Okay.
And the main thing is that authenticity between you, understanding not just that you are satisfied with this person and that this will make a good relationship. Are they satisfied with the things that you're satisfied with? And are they
Yeah.
satisfied themselves about the relationship? Because if I'm going into a relationship and I'm not finding value in that person and in the relationship, anything that comes tomorrow is going to just throw me off. And I will be like, I'm packing it up because I didn't really get the things that you might be coming with a lot of value. I said again that it doesn't make me not worthy. I simply just don't have what you need and what you require.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at only I've gotten what I want, and I'm not looking at is the other person getting what they actually want,
Yeah.
it's still a no-go. And even if the other person is happy to come in not getting what they want, I still lose because tomorrow we're still on shaky foundation. And even if I'm not complaining, the relationship is not whole. So
Yeah.
please, you need to go back to the beginning of this thing. We need to be authentic on both sides. And
Yeah.
remember again that we are all coming in with different things. Somebody may be coming in with the idea that marriage is supposed to be we live together happily, always laughing, and they're looking at it as those things that we see in fairy tales. Some of us are not going in for love. A marriage that is not built on love has other things that is built on. What is
Yeah.
that person coming in for? Because you may be thinking, because I'm coming in for love, everything is fine. What if the other person, that's not what they want? I need to be sure that I'm giving them what they want and they're giving me what I want. If we
Yeah.
can meet at that, then we can have a good chance. So it's that openness. And that's the meaning. That's why I say always to refer to the book of life. To me, the Bible is the book of life. I say whether you're a Christian or not, that's where you will get your guide from. And
Yeah.
what does it say about marriage? Two become one. So two cannot work together except they agree, is what I was saying. And love yourself, love your neighbor as yourself. And that requires openness and authenticity. And
Yeah.
once we don't have that,
I keep,
then
I keep
anything is going to happen.
I keep repeating something every day, and I think I'm beginning to sound like an open record. Any relationship that you're unable to speak your truth is not worth
It's
your
not worth
time.
venturing
It's not
into.
worth your time. It's not worth your energy. It's not worth your emotions. Any relation, and it goes both ways, man, woman. When I was talking earlier, when I said, if I was not talking about a man alone, I was talking about two, the woman too. And it's when those things interweave and they become balanced, that's when you can start talking about marriage or a long-term relationship. When those things, when both sides are looking at the issue from their point of view, and but it balances out, none is being outweighed. That's
And I try
when,
to remind us.
yeah,
I try to remind us of the wisdom of looking at that other person. Are they
yeah,
going to be able to manage your authenticity?
yeah,
Because you may want to be authentic. That's one aspect. But the
yeah,
second aspect is the other person
has the
of the
ability,
temperament of being able to manage this openness and authenticity that you want to bring. Because if you're not going to be able to manage it, then you are speaking to the wrong person
yeah.
and you're going to still have to withhold some things, which means that you're not going in whole as well.
And when you don't go in all,
There's bound to be
anything,
trouble.
anything can happen. Whether now 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So that's that's a sound that's it's a very strong it's a very strong premise.
Hmm.
Speak your truth and make sure
Yeah.
that your truth is admissible, as in the person can take your truth. But always speak your truth. Say who you are, be who you are. Don't hide anything. You understand me? Uh-huh.
And don't present what you think is the nice thing to present. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, no.
doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, and with that, we round up today. Thank you, Akin, for coming back, even
Yeah.
with all the difficulties that you had. I'm sorry that you missed a big chunk of it. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna go now and just end it. Right. So thank you for being with us on this. Thank you for being with us on today's discussion. It's been very long, the longest that we've had. Thank you for staying through it. Hopefully, this helps. I know that people have already gotten married and they're already in it and are wading through it. And from time to time, we'll come into these topics and see how we can all rub minds together. But for those who aren't married yet, if you have friends and relatives, loved ones that aren't married yet, you can take away the things that you've learned here and shine on for them or share this message with them. And let's know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and bye.